Good afternoon, TS300. My name is Sonali Malhotra, and I will be talking to you today about high school and college gap. Most of my research is done online with a little bit of experience. I myself am a first-year student this year, so I did include a little bit of my experience in this presentation today. So first off, I'd like to start off by saying that high school itself is very simple. It has no stress, and your exams are optional, meaning the provincial exams, not your regular exams. Whereas in college, you have a lot of stress, you have a lot of time management to do, and you have a lot of professor expectations. When we add up all these points over here, it shows that we are not well prepared. So to start off, I'd like to say that high school is very simple. What I mean by that is that you have a regular day from 8 to 3. You go to class in the morning, you have 2 morning classes, you get a lunch break, and you do your next 2 classes. Then you go on to your regular activities, after school activities, you go home, eat supper, go to bed, the end, that's your day. So, high school in that sense is simple. You don't have to worry about much things. It is also stress-free. And what I mean by stress-free is that you don't have very many midterms. In fact, in some classes, you don't even have midterms in high school. You just have regular tests once a month type thing, not weekly quizzes, and a final exam. As well, you're dependent on your parents, you're dependent on your teachers to do well. You don't have to worry about many things. You don't have to worry to cook. You don't have to worry to do a lot of different things, for example. Cooking, attending class on time, skipping classes, you don't have to worry about that because your parents are always there to help you. Your parents are always there to tell you, wake up, go to class. And teachers in high school are very lenient. They are on your back to do your tests. They are on your back to do your homework. They will even give you 3rd, 4th, or 5th chances just to fix a test and make it good so that you can pass the class. One main thing in high school is that provincial exams are now not mandatory. What I mean by this is that unless the university demands for a provincial exam, you do not have to take it. Non-mandatory provincial exams such as SAT, the BCP, the ACT, or even YAT, which is the Yukon Achievement Test. In one of the articles by Andrea Valenzuela and Laura Jagger, they have stated that results were calculated in 2012. They concluded that only 25% of students were prepared or had passed the benchmark in the core subject areas to be considered to do well in college by achieving a grade higher than a B. What I mean by that is that the provincial exams are more based on the program. They're not very based on students. So a lot of teachers with this, just by this statement, they feel pressured that they have to teach their class according to the provincial exams. They have to teach their class for what's on the provincial exam, so they can cut things from their curriculum in high school. College, let's get on to that, is that there's a lot of stress. You have to learn to live on your own. You have to learn to be independent. You're adapting yourself to a new community, to a new society. And the biggest thing is you're adjusting to freedom. You don't have anyone on your back saying, go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that. You have freedom. You can skip class 10 times if you want. You can skip class for the entire year. It's all up to you. You don't have teachers telling you to come to my class. A lot of university teachers don't even know who you are when you're in a lecture hall full of 400 or 500 students. And the biggest thing is that you have high tuition costs. You have costs that can vary from $4,000 to $5,000 just for one semester. So this is one of the biggest stress in college is learning how to pay for your own fees. Another thing in college is your time management. You have to manage how to study on your own. You have to manage how to hang out with your friends, go to parties, do events. You have to manage your work life. You need to work to pay your costs. And the biggest thing I noticed is that you have to avoid procrastination. For myself, in first semester, I procrastinated a little bit. I didn't do my work on time for a couple things, and it just ended up being a big issue in the final. Finally, you have to study on your own, as many students in first year find that they are stressed with 4 to 5 classes per semester, studying for each class, and writing the final exam in stress where there's 400 other students writing the final exam. Another big thing is professor expectations. First of all, being a high school student, you're only in a class of from ranging 10 to 30 students, max. Whereas as soon as you come to college or university, you are in a lecture hall with a minimum of 100 students. So just moving from the class, that's a whole new adaptation you have to do. And expectations are a lot higher too in university. professors expect you to know certain topics which you should have learned in high school but you didn't. One example I'd like to take for that is math class. In my math class, we did pre-calculus, which is basically just the pre-calculus stuff. However, a couple topics we did not cover. We did not cover very much of trigonometry. We didn't cover very much of probability either. So in university, in one of my math classes, in Math 151 to be specific, the teacher was teaching probability and found that half or 3/4 of the students had learned it, whereas a half or a quarter of the students had not learned it. But due to time, they couldn't teach it in class and said we were expected to know the topic from high school. This could be an issue because if all schools don't follow the same curriculum, you don't know some of the things that are being taught in class. So professors expect you to know things without you even knowing it. Research shows that although some high schools offer AP advanced placement courses, only 30% participate in these options, and 18.1 of these scores higher than a 3. This is also in the article by Andrea Venezuela and Laura Hager. What I mean by this is that in high school, they don't offer advanced placement courses for every core subject. They only offer it for a couple core subjects. And by this, only 30% of them attend the AP classes because they know it'll help them be prepared for university. The only difference is that from that 30, 18.1 actually pass it, which shows that they're prepared for college. Otherwise, the rest of them, you can tell that they will not be prepared due to they have not done so well in the AP classes. So why students are not prepared? These small issues, simplicity, not having someone behind you all the time, and not being taught the same things can all equal to not being prepared. The biggest factor is high school needs to follow the same curriculum. They need to arrange it all together so that everyone knows what to learn, what not to learn, so that when they come to university, the teachers know that the student has not learned this. Unnecessary provincial exams for students have proven to be a lower grade. What I mean by this is that a lot of provincial exams are more program-based and not student-based. So by students, I mean that us. We are there, we take provincial exams and they count as our final, but I'm sure many of you have experienced that taking a provincial exam sometimes covers things which you have not covered in class. This is because the government is the one that assigns these provincial exams and not the teachers. So the teachers don't know what's on it or what's not on it. It's the government decides. So this is more to decide whether the teacher is teaching the topics correct and whether the course is designed correct enough to be taught within time frame. So to conclude, student needs to be prepared from high school in order to do well in college or university as a first-year student. They need to have same curriculums everywhere in order to be accepted into university and not based on one separate curriculum. I'd like to thank you for attending my presentation today, and I hope you all have a great day. Are there any questions? Thank you.